Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Tom, and I'm really glad you're here with us today.
And I'm Erin, your co-host. Thanks for tuning in. Whether you're walking, studying, or just relaxing at home, we're happy to join you for another episode to help you improve your English naturally.
Exactly. Today, we're talking about a super practical topic: how to talk about your daily routine in English. This is something we use every day in conversations, interviews, and even when writing.
Yes, and we'll walk you through everything, from useful vocabulary to real examples to simple sentence patterns you can use right away.
So grab your notebook or just sit back and listen. This episode is going to make your daily routine conversations much easier.
Let's get started.
All right, Aaron, before we dive into vocabulary and examples, let's warm up a bit. Let me ask you something simple. Are you a morning person?
Absolutely not. I wish I was. I'm more of a don't talk to me until I've had my coffee person.
I feel that. I think our listeners can relate. For anyone learning English, by the way, morning person means someone who feels energetic early in the day.
Right. And I'm definitely not one of those people. What about you, Tom?
I'd say I'm somewhere in the middle. I wake up early, but I don't actually become human until around 10 a.m.
Same here. And speaking of waking up, today's topic, daily routines, is something everyone experiences. Even if our routines are different, we all wake up, eat, work, study, relax. All those daily activities.
Exactly. And routines really help learners practice verbs in the present simple tense, like I wake up, I brush my teeth, or I go to work.
Yes. And it's funny because even though we do these things every day, talking about them in English can feel tricky at first. That's why today's episode is so helpful.
By the way, Aaron, what's the first thing you usually do in the morning? Just a quick teaser before your full routine later.
Honestly, I check my phone. I know I shouldn't, but it's the truth.
That's relatable. And listeners, if you don't understand relatable, it means something that many people can understand or feel the same way about.
Exactly. And we're going to give you lots of everyday vocabulary like that today. Words you can use to describe real life.
All right, I think we're warmed up. Let's move on to our vocabulary spotlight and break down the most important words for daily.
Let's do it.
All right, everyone, it's time for our vocabulary spotlight. We're going to introduce some of the most common words and expressions you need to talk about your daily routine in English.
Yes, these are words you'll use all the time. We'll explain each one, give examples, and even check each other with a quick mini quiz. Ready, Tom?
Born ready. Let's start with one of the most basic daily routine verbs. Wake up. Wake up means the moment you stop sleeping. For example, I wake up at 6:30.
Right. And remember, wake up is different from get up. Get up means you actually leave the bed. So you might wake up at 6:30, but get up at 7. Totally different feeling.
So true. Next word, brush my teeth. Many learners already know this, but it's essential. Example, I brush my teeth after breakfast.
Good one. Another important verb is take a shower. We usually say take a shower or have a shower depending on the region. Example, I take a shower before going to work.
Great. Now let's add get dressed. This just means putting on clothes. Example, I get dressed quickly on weekdays.
Next up is a super common phrase, have breakfast. We also say have lunch and have dinner. Example, I have breakfast at 8 a.m.
Yes. And speaking of meals, here's another one. Make coffee or make tea. Example, I make a cup of coffee before starting work.
Now let's move into work or study routines. A very useful phrase is go to work or go to school. Example, I go to work by bus.
Perfect. Another one is start work or start studying. Example: I start work at 9 a.m.
And when the day ends, we say finish work or get off work. Example: I finish work at 5.
Now let's look at after work routines. A common one is relax. Example: I relax by watching TV.
Here's a useful one for people who enjoy fitness: workout. Example: I work out 3 times a week.
Great vocabulary list so far. Let's do a quick mini quiz. Aaron, ready?
Always, go for it.
If I say, I leave my bed at 7, but I stop sleeping at 6:30, which phrase means stop sleeping?
That's wake up.
Correct. Your turn.
Okay, Tom. What's the phrase for putting on your clothes?
That would be get dressed.
Nice. One more for listeners. Which phrase means taking a bath under running water? Is it take a shower or get up?
Listeners, I hope you said take a shower.
All right, great job, everyone. These are the building blocks you'll need for talking about your daily routine.
And next, we're going to use these words in real examples as I walk you through my daily routine.
Let's move on.
All right, it's time for me to share my daily routine. And Aaron, you can jump in anytime with questions.
Oh, don't worry, I will. Let's start with the morning. What time do you usually wake up?
I usually wake up around 6:30 a.m. But to be honest, I don't always get up right away. I sometimes stay in bed scrolling on my phone for a few minutes.
So you wake up at 6:30, but you get up at...
Around 6:45. I need those extra 15 minutes just to convince myself to start the day.
Relatable. What's next? Do you brush your teeth first or make coffee first?
I brush my teeth first. I can't function until I do that. After that, I go straight to the kitchen and make a cup of coffee. That coffee is my energy for the morning.
Nice. And do you eat breakfast at home?
Yes, I usually have breakfast around 7. Nothing fancy, just some toast and eggs, or sometimes yogurt with fruit.
Sounds healthy. So after breakfast, what do you do?
After breakfast, I take a shower and get dressed. I like to get ready early so I'm not rushing.
Good plan. And what time do you start work?
I usually start work at 9 a.m. Since I work from home, I don't need to commute. I just walk from the kitchen to my desk.
The shortest commute ever.
Absolutely. Around 12:30, I have lunch, and then I get back to work until about 5.
Do you take breaks during the day?
Yes, I take short breaks to stretch or walk around. It helps me stay focused. After finishing work, I like to relax for a bit.
How do you usually relax?
Sometimes I watch TV, but most days I prefer to work out. I go for a jog or do a quick workout at home. It helps me clear my mind.
Nice. And what about evenings?
In the evening, I have dinner around 7 p.m. After dinner, I usually read a book, study something new, or chat with friends online. Then around 10:30, I go to bed.
Your routine is pretty balanced. Work, exercise, relaxation, learning. I like it.
I try. And listeners, notice how I used simple present tense throughout. I wake up, I brush my teeth, I start work, I go to bed. These are exactly the kinds of sentences you can use to describe your own daily routine.
Great example, Tom. Now it's my turn to share my daily routine.
And I already know yours is going to be very different.
Oh, yes. Let's get into it. All right, my turn. And to be honest, my daily routine is a little different from yours, Tom.
I'm ready. I'm expecting later mornings, lots of coffee, and maybe some chaos.
You're not wrong. So I usually wake up around 7:30 a.m. But, and this is important, I don't get out of bed immediately.
How long are we talking here?
Um, Maybe 20 to 25 minutes. I just lie there thinking about life, checking messages, avoiding responsibilities.
So very productive.
Extremely. After I finally get up, I go straight to the kitchen and make coffee. I can't do anything before that.
So you're a coffee first, life later person.
Exactly. After my coffee, I take a shower and get dressed. I usually keep it simple. Comfortable clothes so I feel good during the day.
Do you eat breakfast?
Sometimes. I'm not a big breakfast person, but if I do eat something, I'll have a smoothie or some fruit. Something light.
Nice. And what time do you start work?
I start work at 9:30. I also work from home, so my commute is very short. From the kitchen to my desk, just like you.
We live luxurious lives.
Really? I work until around noon, then I have lunch. Usually something quick like a salad or leftovers.
Do you take breaks during the day?
Yes, I try to take a break every hour to stretch or walk around. I also like to listen to music while I work. It keeps me focused.
Nice. What about after work?
I finish work around 5:30, and after that, I like to relax. Sometimes I watch YouTube, sometimes I read, and sometimes I just sit on the couch doing nothing. It depends on my energy level.
Same. Sometimes you need a moment to exist.
Exactly. A few evenings a week, I also like to work out. Either yoga, a short run, or a home workout. It helps me unwind after a long day.
Very healthy.
I try. Then I have dinner around 7:30. After dinner, I usually talk with friends, tidy up my apartment, or watch a show.
And what time do you go to bed?
I usually go to bed around 11 p.m., but I don't fall asleep immediately. I tend to read a little before sleeping.
It's a nice routine. Balanced, but flexible. And listeners, notice again the use of the present simple. I wake up, I have dinner, I work out, I go to bed. These phrases are the foundation for describing daily routines.
Exactly. And now that you've heard both of our routines, you can compare them to your own and practice saying yours out loud.
All right, next we're going to look at useful phrases and patterns you can use to describe your daily routine clearly and confidently.
Let's jump in.
All right, listeners, now that you've heard our daily routines, let's look at some useful phrases and patterns that will help you talk about your routine clearly in English.
Yes, these patterns are super easy to remember and very natural. Let's start with one of the most common structures. I usually plus verb,
Exactly. It's great for talking about habits. For example, I usually wake up at 7.
or I usually have coffee in the morning. This pattern works for almost any daily activity. Pattern 1. I usually plus verb.
Okay, next pattern. I always, for things you do every day.
For example, I always brush my teeth before breakfast.
Or, I always check my email in the morning. This adds a sense of routine or discipline. Pattern 2. I always plus verb.
Now let's look at a really helpful one. I sometimes. This is great for things you don't do every day.
Right. For example, I sometimes work out in the evening.
Or I sometimes eat breakfast at a cafe. This makes your routine sound more natural and real. Pattern 3. I sometimes plus verb.
Okay, here's another pattern that's super useful for describing order. First, I, then I, after that, I, finally, I.
Yes! These words help you tell your routine like a story. For example, first, I wake up. Then I take a shower. After that, I get dressed. Finally, I drink coffee.
Great example. Very clear and easy to understand. Pattern 4. Sequence words. First, then after that, finally.
Now let's do a quick mini role play using these patterns. Ready, Tom?
Always ready. You start.
Okay. I usually wake up at 7 and I always make coffee right away.
Nice. Here's mine. First, I brush my teeth. Then, I take a shower. After that, I get dressed. Finally, I start work.
Perfect. Listeners, try practicing these with your own routine when the episode ends.
These simple patterns make your English sound much more natural and confident.
And now, it's time for a mini listening practice to help you hear daily routines in context.
Let's get to it. All right, listeners, it's time for a mini listening practice. We're going to read 2 short daily routine paragraphs. Your job is to listen carefully and try to understand the key details.
Yes. After each paragraph, we'll ask you a few questions. Don't worry, you don't have to answer out loud. Just think of the answers or say them quietly to yourself.
Here's the first paragraph. Listen closely. I wake up at 6 o'clock every morning. I brush my teeth and take a quick shower. After that, I make breakfast and have a cup of coffee. I start work at 9 and finish at 5. In the evening, I relax by reading a book before going to bed at 10:30.
Nice. Now, here are your questions. What time does he wake up? What does he drink in the morning? How does he relax in the evening?
All right, keep your answers in mind. Now let's go to the second part.
Here's the second paragraph. Listen carefully. I usually wake up around 7:30. I drink a smoothie for breakfast and then start work at 9:30. During the day, I take short breaks to stretch or walk. After work, I like to watch a show or listen to music. I go to bed at around 11 o'clock at night.
Great. And now your questions. What does she have for breakfast? What does she do during her breaks? What time does she go to bed?
Don't worry if you didn't understand everything the first time. Listening takes practice, but you're doing great.
Exactly. And you can always rewind this part to listen again.
All right, let's move on to speaking practice so you can start saying these sentences yourself.
All right, listeners, it's time for speaking practice. This is where you talk. Don't worry if you're alone. Just repeat after us. Speaking out loud is one of the best ways to improve your English.
Yes. We'll say a sentence and then leave a short pause so you can repeat it. Ready? Let's start with something simple. Repeat after us.
I wake up at,
I brush my teeth in the morning.
I take a shower and get dressed.
I go to work or school at,
I have lunch at,
after work I relax by,
finally, I go to bed at build your own routine.
great job. Now let's try making short sentences about your own daily routine. We'll give you sentence starters.
Here we go. First,
Then
after that,
finally
awesome job practicing. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's confidence and consistency.
exactly. Now let's talk about some common mistakes learners often make when describing their daily routines.
All right, let's talk about some common mistakes learners make when describing their daily routine. These are small errors, but fixing them makes your English sound much more natural.
The first big one is forgetting the S in the present simple when talking about he, she, or it. For example, it should be, he wakes up. She starts work, not wake up or start work.
Yes, that's a classic. Another mistake is using present continuous instead of present simple. Some learners say, I am waking up at 7, but the correct daily routine form is, I wake up at 7.
Right. And here's another one. Mixing up wake up and get up. Remember, wake up equals stop sleeping. Get up equals leave the bed.
And finally, pronunciation mistakes, especially with words like breakfast. It's pronounced breakfast, not breakfast.
Fixing these little mistakes helps you sound more natural and confident.
All right, let's wrap up today's episode. All right, listeners, that's a wrap for today's episode on talking about your daily routine in English. We covered useful vocabulary, common phrases, and examples from both Aaron's and my daily routines.
Yes. And we practiced speaking, listened carefully, and even highlighted some common mistakes to avoid. If you try these tips and patterns, your English will sound much more natural.
We'd love to hear from you. In the comments, tell us about your daily routine. What time you wake up, what you eat, or any special habits you have.
And don't forget to subscribe to the English Learning Podcast for more episodes like this. Share this with friends who want to improve their English too.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.
Bye! And remember, English is easier when you use it every day.